Now as Jesus was passing by, he saw a man who had been born blind. And his disciples asked him, "Why is it that this man was born blind? Is it because of his sin, or is it because of his parents' sin?" And Jesus said, "It's not because of this man's sin or his parents' sin that he was born blind, but it's so that the works of God might be displayed in his life. For we must do the works of him who sent me, as long as it is day. Night is coming, when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." So at that Jesus spat into the ground, and he made some clay with the spit, and he applied it into the man's eyes. And he said to the man, "Now go and wash your eyes in the pool of Siloam." Now the pool of Siloam, when it is translated, means sent. And so the man went, and he washed his eyes in the pool. And at that moment, he was able to see. Now all the neighbors in that place saw the man, and they said to one another, "Isn't this the man that used to sit at the gate and beg?" And some of them said, "Yes, it is." And others said, "No, it's not. It just looks like him." But he himself was saying, "It is me." And so they said to him, "How is it then that your eyes were open? Who did this?" And he said, "The man who's called Jesus, he made some mud and he anointed my eyes and he told me to wash. And then when I did, I could see." And so they said, "Where is he?" And he said, "I don't know." So they took the man to the Pharisees and the Jews, the man who had been born blind. Now the day that Jesus had chose to open this man's eyes was a Sabbath day. And so the Jews asked him, "What did he do to you?" And he said, He anointed my eyes, and I washed, and I saw." And so they said to one another, "A man who does this cannot be from God. He does not obey the Sabbath law." But others were saying, "How could a sinner do such marvelous works?" And so there was a division between them. So they asked the man himself. They said, "What do you think of him, since he opened your eyes?" And he said, "He is a prophet." So they didn't even believe that the man had even been born blind. And they called his parents, and they said to his parents, "Is this your son? Was he born blind? How can he see?" And his parents said, "Well, we know this is our son, and we know that he was born blind. But as for who healed him, as for how he can see, we don't know. We don't know who healed him. Ask him. He's old enough. He can answer for himself." Now they said this for one reason only, because they were afraid of the Jews. Because the Jews had already agreed that if anyone said that Jesus was the Christ, he should be cast out of the synagogue. That's why they said, "Ask him, he is old enough." So they summoned the man in again a second time, and they said to him, "Give glory to God. We know that this man is a sinner." So the man said, "Well, whether or not he is a sinner, I don't know, but I do know that I was blind, and now I can see." So they said, "What did he do? How did he heal you?" And he said, "I already told you. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become this man's disciples?" And they reviled him, and they said, "You are this man's disciples, but we are disciples of Moses. For we know that God has spoken to Moses, but as for this man, we don't even know where he's from." And the man said, "Well, now that is an amazing thing. You don't know where this man is from, and yet he healed my eyes. For we know that God does not speak to sinners, but if anyone is willing to do his will, we know that God will speak to him. For since the beginning of the world, No one has ever heard of a man being born blind and being healed. If this man were not from God, he couldn't do anything." And the priests and Jews said to him, "You were born and raised in sin, and you lecture us?" And at that they cast him out. Now Jesus heard that the man had been cast out of the synagogue, and so he went and he found him, and he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And he said, "Who is he, so that I can believe in him?" And Jesus said, "You have both seen him, and he is the one who is talking to you now." And so the man said, "I believe." And he worshipped Jesus. And Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into the world, that those who were blind will see, and that those who say they can see will be called blind." Now some of the Pharisees who were standing around were saying, "Surely you are not implying that we are blind too." And Jesus said, "If you were blind, you would have no sin. But since you say you can see, your sin remains."